Hey, it's the Film Sharks Podcast.
We're back.
We're back, baby. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess we didn't exactly go anywhere, but I think it's been a minute since we've been on the old microphone.
It's been a sec
since we've been recording. But hey, if you didn't know, we got more videos on YouTube, so that's mostly what we've been doing.
Yes.
You got one coming up. I put
It's
out
ready.
a couple. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
ready
It's
to
ready.
go
Let's put it
whenever.
up this week, like Sunday. You know what?
I'll put
Throw
it
it
up.
out there, man.
I'll throw it out
Monday,
Sunday.
whatever.
It's ready. I even got the thumbnail finished. I'm ready to go.
Sick. I'm so
I
excited.
thought it was longer than it was. After editing it, I'm like, this took a week.
It's like
5
I know,
minutes
I
long.
know.
I'm like, oh.
I got like 9-minute ones or so that I've made, and I'm like, oh, it takes so long.
So much time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible, but I enjoy it. So, because I'm always like itching to get back to it, and like, oh, this is gonna be great, maybe. But you know, maybe they're good, maybe they're not. Who knows? But anyway,
The clip I decided to edit was not the smartest clip.
No, I like it.
It was like, I was like, oh, this is funny.
Yes,
I like this. I like this talking about it a lot. And then I started editing. I'm like, how
What
in
have I
the
done?
world am I going to do this?
Anyway, go check those out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so that'll come out this week. I'm still like,
Yes.
what did I do?
It's good.
really dumb.
No, I think it's funny. I love it. But that's just a funny.
Yeah,
conversation.
just wait and see when it comes out. Yeah, it's one of my favorite conversations we had. It's so stupid.
I just like where it goes mostly. Anyway, let's get into this. This is not a normal episode. This is a
Discussion episode.
a discussion kind of review, just talk. This is the Acolyte, Star Wars: The Acolyte.
Season 1.
Well, yeah, season
see.
1 talk. This is not, however, the probably upcoming Disney Star Wars talk, where we just talk about everything. There'll probably be there will probably be bits of that, but generally, I just want to talk about this show.
I will say the show does feel separate from all of the other TV shows they've made in a weird way.
Yeah, for good or bad. Probably because
I think
Dave
it's-
Filoni has so much to do with a lot of those other ones,
I
but
think
he
it's-
didn't have as much to do with this
I
one.
think it's for the
Maybe.
better. Because it doesn't.
Yeah,
we'll get
maybe,
into
maybe.
it.
Okay, well, anyway, I don't really know how to jump into this exactly. I don't know if we should. We've talked about a bit of it. We've talked up to like episode 3 or 4.
Well, we talked about the plot and stuff. You want to talk about the show overall first?
So I made a list on paper, notes,
So old
and I was
school.
like, well,
Talk about being old.
yeah.
Would you use a pen for that?
I used a pencil.
There's no
for that.
touch screen on that paper, is
There's
there?
just no. I couldn't get it to scroll, so whatever.
Well, I'm so used to touch screens, I'll dip
I
my
know,
finger
I
in
know.
ink and then write on the paper with my finger.
That's right. Well, anyway, I've got a couple pages, but mostly I've got like 12 points.
Let's go
of
through 'em.
Things to talk about. These are all bad things, but I didn't know if we want to talk about good things first.
Well, there is a question.
Or
I
not
had
necessarily
for
bad,
you.
but more like questionable things. Because what I will say about the show, first of all, actually, do you want to ask your question? 'Cause
Yes.
it might be the same thing that I'm about to say.
I was
Yeah.
going to say something you liked and something that you didn't like. Or if you do like it, say something you don't like about it. If you don't like it, say something that you really like about it.
Wait, repeat that.
If you don't like it that much, say something that you like a
Okay.
lot about it. It's like your favorite thing about the show.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was gonna say, yeah, that's pretty much what I was gonna do. What's the good stuff?
Yes, I have plenty of good
Oh,
things.
you have
in
plenty
this.
of good things. I have like one main good. Well, okay, two main good things.
Two main character good things.
Well, one main character good.
I got two things.
Go ahead. I'll disagree.
Soul.
Or agree. Yeah. Oh yeah.
He is the standout. He is absolutely incredible in the show.
He's
And
not the main. He's the main character for me. Let's say that.
That's what I was gonna say. This show
Not-
feels like his show in a way.
It should have been his show. Let's say that.
And then the
Focus on
stranger.
him. He's. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He's
he
awesome.
did. He has a name. I don't remember. What it is.
Apparently, his character's name is actually Stranger. Like that's what his character's name is. Like his whatever.
I see. In
It's like
a
it starts with a
credited-
Q or something.
Yeah, he's got a specific. Oh, I don't know.
He was awesome. He's from The Good Place. I've always really liked that
Khmer.
guy. Yes.
Khmer, I think is what it's called.
And he did all his own
He's great.
stunts. He's amazing.
You thought he was like a shrimpy,
No, he's like
mousy dude, and he like throws out his arms, man. Like Good for him.
In my opinion, it was
job.
probably the coolest like action we've gotten since Disney had Star Wars.
Okay, so those are my 3 things then. I'll agree with you. Yeah, best Disney Star Wars
fighting action.
choreography.
So
stuff.
good. And
not all of it landed perfectly, but most of it.
There's one episode I can think of. I think it's episode 3 or 4 where he's just like he's slaughtering.
I think you're thinking of
Jedis.
5.
I'm like, I'm in.
Yes, episode 5.
I was like, maybe they're gonna turn it around.
I was kind of annoyed at the end of 4 where they're like, oh, I guess we'll stop there.
Yeah.
He blasts them off and it's like, that's it. But I kind of like, after seeing it, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Where we'll just talk about the action. Where Osha gets knocked out. I think Osha gets knocked out and you wake up with her and all you hear like in the background, like lightsabers and it's dark now and they're kind of like off in the distance. Good. That's pretty cool.
I love that I think that episode's pretty good. I think, and when I say it, episode's good, I think once the story starts, that's when it falls apart.
Well, that's the thing. That's the best episode, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because it's just all one action scene.
And I don't really want to be that guy of like, just give me more action in my Star Wars.
I'm not saying that.
I love when they do we get into it, but
I felt like it was a good amount of action.
Staying on the good stuff, the action and the final episode as well is pretty good.
Yeah, there's a good fight scene in there.
Yes.
There's a bad,
I just
not a great fight scene.
I like Soul and I like
Soul's definitely the best part.
Or whatever his name is.
Lee Jung-jae is just a great actor, and
the fact
he's kind of wasted on this.
The fact that he didn't know English.
Yeah, came in and was just like,
and he knocked it out of the park.
Tell me what to say, basically. Yeah, but that's cool. I mean,
it should have
do I wish he was on a better show?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, for coming, to be his first English. Thing. I mean, it's a big show. How can you say no to Star Wars? Somewhat. But, I mean, at this point...
the guy who plays the stranger said he was terrified of accepting the role of the Star Wars because he's like, it's so fragile. And, like, you could mess it up and people could hate you. And I understand that. But he's like, how could I say no to being a villain in Star Wars?
Yeah. I think the majority of the acting in this is pretty good. There is some not good. There's a fair amount of not good. Let's say that. But I think the good outweighs the bad. I don't know. And how much do you blame on writing and how much do you blame on acting itself?
I think a lot
it's
of
hard
it has
to say
with the writing.
But Lee Jung-jae, he definitely elevates everything. He's kind of like the Obi-Wan of this series.
I was gonna say, he reminded me a lot of like Qui-Gon Jinn with like the long hair and stuff. I'm like, you know what?
He deserved better. That's all I have to say. 100%. That character deserved better, and we'll get into that.
Should have been his show.
Yeah, I think there should have been a different main character, and then the two. We'll talk about it, but the two actual main characters should have been a side plot, maybe, or you know what I mean? Not a side plot, but like they're the mission, but they're not the main character. Let's say I don't know. And maybe make it with Soul and Kamir's character somehow. Like, they're both trying to get the girls on... You know what I mean? They're kind of like vying for their... Which kind of happens, but I want more of that.
That's what the story is, but they focus too much on Osha and May's characters
and
who are
for
just
what they are, I feel like they're not interesting. And I'm not blaming the actress necessarily, but... It was a little flat in some cases, and I don't know.
We'll get into it.
I don't want to be like, so just to say, sort of up top, all spoilers. We're just going to talk about the show.
Thank goodness.
So watch out, I guess. But also, this is, I want to be fair and say when things are good, and I'm not here to bash anybody. Let's say that, okay? Just because there is a lot of like
bashing.
There's a lot of bashing, and this show gets bashed a lot. It's fairly bashed.
I will say,
but I'm just saying, I don't want to be the mean YouTuber that's just. I'm not making any money on this. I'm just trying to share my thoughts.
Well, that's the thing,
and I just want something good from Star Wars.
There is a conversation around how people will label a lot of this stuff as. Well, Disney will label anybody complaining as it's like,
phobes or
Yeah.
ids or whatever,
And
Ish. What
it's
am I
their
saying?
way of kind of avoiding actual criticism and scrutiny.
There's definitely a lot of that of like,
Yeah.
because in a lot of cases they do it before it comes out, and it's like, oh, you're just preparing for. You're just like,
They know
I don't know. They're using this as, or they want to use it as,
publicity.
yeah, of like,
It's all
bad publicity is still publicity, right?
Yeah. So I think.
Yeah.
What was
it
your?
is what it is.
Let's move on to your next one.
Well, that was just a side thing. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah. So the show, don't know how well it did actually. I think
it's been watched like.
I think it's the second lowest.
Oh,
watched.
I heard the opposite.
I don't know.
I heard it was like super high now.
Maybe with the 8th. I don't know. Because what I heard was it was above Andor. Sadly, nobody watched Andor.
That's an actual tragedy.
What's funny is everyone stopped watching Andor, and then they kind of came back for this one, which is kind of understandable. But if I just heard the premises of both these shows, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'd rather watch The Acolyte before having seen them.
I agree, but I'm just that is
yeah.
an absolute tragedy.
Yeah, that's what's funny, because I've heard people were like, yeah, I didn't watch Andor, but I watched this one just because I heard how bad it was and I had to go check it out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Andor wasn't bad enough for people to go check it out, so maybe there's a bit of that.
This is also not bad enough to...
It's not off. It's, yeah.
I'd say that it's just okay. I didn't hate it.
It's just so... it's very...
I found some
writing,
things I really liked about it.
Yeah.
Stood out for me enough to not hate the show. Like, there's stuff to be annoyed by. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. It's not gonna it's not gonna stick with me. The things that are gonna stick with me are like, the villain was really cool. Soul was amazing. I wish he was in more things. I liked
he's not gonna be though.
And I liked some of the action. I thought some of the cinematography was pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
no, I mean, some of it was good. I mean,
but the stuff that really annoys me, I mean, I'm not going to forget it, but I'm not going to sit and be annoyed.
Yeah, if I nitpick, it's because it's obvious. So what I would say is generally the writing is the worst part. Okay, so that's the first thing I wrote down. Is just the writing in general is just very questionable, and I don't understand. And so when there are nitpicky things, I wouldn't really bother with that if the story was really good and like other things were good. But because of these other things are not, or it's just so obvious, it's like you didn't, like, why would you not change that, or why would you not catch that, or why would nobody went through and was like, maybe this should not be this, whatever, some easy change. But
it's definitely the writing, in my opinion, that brings this whole show down. That, and then the two main characters.
Yeah,
they're just not. You can't connect to them. They're a huge problem for me. Like,
okay, yeah. All right, let me go through my list real quick. Okay, so I have writing. So I've got the lore, which I don't care as much. Again, if the writing was good, I could be okay with the lore changes, but I'm just throwing it out there. I wrote down interesting, which means it wasn't that interesting in general. It was hard to... It didn't always keep your interest, let's say that.
And that's sad because I feel like this is like the one thing that could be interesting about Star Wars
It
now.
is. The premise is interesting, but they just didn't do anything that interesting with it,
Exactly.
I guess. Except for the action. I wrote down Plagueis plus Yoda tease means are they... I don't know. Don't cancel us is what I wrote down.
It's dumb.
Where they wait. I don't know. I wonder.
The very last shot, you just see Yoda's ears. I'm like, great.
Which
he's
is so old.
Just done that. Great.
I'm pretty sure that's the Last Jedi puppet.
Probably.
They didn't bother.
I didn't mind seeing Plagueis just creeping on people.
Well, I like the idea.
Yeah, I just didn't really care.
But that was the one thing, and they didn't talk about it. They didn't touch on it except for that. And my thought was, I wonder. I doubt this was the case, but I wondered, like, they were like waiting to see how people reacted early on, and they were like, people don't like this. Let's toss this in. I don't know. Or maybe they knew beforehand, but they were like, let's throw this in here as a tease. Oh, now Plagueis. Now people will be like, oh, now I want the season 2, whereas I may not have.
I think that's the case.
And then the Yoda also. There are questions that go with that. But that's another lore thing.
Yeah. What else you got?
The mystery that they teased not much of a mystery.
The murder mystery.
Yeah, they were like, it's a murder mystery, Star Wars, and I was excited.
And
I was
we
like, that's
solved
cool.
it in 2 episodes.
It was, yeah, if
and
not one.
We have 6 more episodes
I was like,
to go.
are you kidding me? Okay, well, now we know who was, and there was no mystery at all. At all, really. Yeah. So, and then I have 2 questions here. I asked, are the Jedi the bad guys? And then I was like, or are the witches really that good? Was my second question.
I think here's my...
3 questions. Go ahead.
This is a plot that could have been solved by just explaining, like, it's so easy just to avoid all of this.
Yes.
Soul did nothing wrong.
No, I don't think so.
I think
I agree.
Soul was in the right, and people were
I
like,
think you did the right thing.
I do too. I mean,
it's
this woman is
unfortunate,
turning
but
into
also,
like a dark demon dust and trying to get this kid, and you're like,
they're good though.
no, I'm gonna stab you, and they're like, I was just gonna let her go.
We'll get.
Oh,
yes.
well, say that.
We'll
then,
get to
so
it.
I don't
We'll get to it.
stab you.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Good. Okay, you just trying to dig at me now? What are you doing?
I'll get
All right,
to
we'll
it.
get to it.
I'll
We'll get
get
to
to
it. So those 2 questions. I have another question here is, why did Soul have to choose just one child when he was like holding them up? Just
continue
you can
to
save them both, I think.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that was just like it's kind of cool to be like, oh, he chose her, but I think they could have come up with a better situation for that, because he could have just lifted them instead of the walkways, whatever. It was kind of cool, but also I had questions. Anyway, flashbacks make things more confusing, is one thing I wrote. They don't really clear anything up, or what they do clear up is the opposite of what you're supposed to believe. I just wrote, and then I wrote just talk, which is what you were saying. If they all just got together and
talked
they just
about it?
talked, I think things would have been
Not
okay.
even that.
It would have
It's
been cleared up real easily. Go ahead.
It comes back to how even Soul was just like,
He kept trying to tell.
yeah,
And then they kept cutting him off.
but she was turning into a giant cloud of
Yes.
demon dust, and like, yeah,
There were multiple times too where he's like, "Oh, you and Osha are," and then she wouldn't wait. They specifically had her like get free at that moment instead of making it super easy and be like, "Oh, this is interesting." Okay. And then the last thing I wrote was filler, because there's a lot of filler.
there's a lot of filler.
I think maybe it could have been cut down to 6 episodes, 4 maybe. So that's what I got, and we can talk about it. Yeah. Oh, well, actually, I do have one more thing. That's a writing question, but it was May and Osha are very confusing characters.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what each one wants.
Nothing. No. So here's the thing. I
And
agree
they both
with
flip
you.
flop,
Yes.
and I'm like, what's happening?
Well,
And
not even
they
that.
they like end up the opposite that they started out.
Osha wanted
And
to be a
I don't know.
Jedi.
Yes.
We don't know why.
Yes.
And
Well,
then
because
May
I don't know.
wants to stay with the witches, and we don't know why.
And she wants to force Osha to stay
So we don't
so
know.
bad that she would like kill her.
Exactly.
But then that goes away. She doesn't act like that ever again.
Here's the
She's
thing.
all, like,
though.
all lovey and stuff.
That's cool.
So
that,
I'm very
like,
confused.
you're setting up reasons why people want to. Yeah, they're going in different directions. But
Yeah.
why? Why does Osha want to be with the Jedi?
Does she even know what the Jedi are?
No.
No, she doesn't. She's never
Well,
heard of the Jedi.
Yeah, it's just that's what I'm saying. I want to be
It would
a
be.
Jedi.
I mean, maybe if they would have just turned it to, oh, I'd like to leave this place one day, and then May can be like, not me. I want to stay here and lead the coven or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they could be like, maybe we would, whatever. And then they show up and like, hey, we're the Jedi, and which. Okay, I think we just need to go through these like episode by episode. I'm not sure. These kind of reviews are difficult because I don't know what to touch on fully.
I mean,
It's easy to kind of go through and be like, here's what's weird and blah blah blah. But okay, well, we'll just talk about Osha and May thing. So they start out like that, and then I don't know. So May is on a revenge quest because she hates the Jedi, even though they didn't really do anything wrong.
to her,
I mean, kind of. He did kill her mother, but she saw what happened, so she should be like,
well,
that's
why is she
that's
turning
a
into
kind of
dust?
understandable. Also, why did the lightsabers kill her if she was
I don't know.
smoky? my thought, or like
Smoky
do it
witch.
halfway that she's turning smoky, and then he stabs her where she's not, and then she's like, whatever. What was she doing?
I don't know.
Is this stuff that's going to be explained? Like, what was the smoke stuff?
Probably. But they were
What
all
about the
able to do
other?
that.
What about what's that? I can't think of that race. The spiky-haired alien
Darth
lady.
Maul looking chick?
Yeah, whatever that is. She took off as a smoke thing. What happened to her?
They're all
Did
smoke.
she go into the Wookiee,
We
or
all
did she
smoke.
escape? Can they all do that? What is this?
Someone
Is this
turned into the Wookiee. That was a cool scene though.
Well, I thought it was
fighting
all.
the Wookiee. I was like,
Well, yeah,
scary.
that was cool, even though he was like brainwashed or whatever. But I thought that was all the other witches that were doing that because they were all like swaying in the room. Remember,
be
and they're like
right.
chanting and they're like controlling him. And then when they like break him free, they all die. Or they pass out and then
yeah.
die. I don't know, whatever. I mean, I actually laughed out loud when
There's a lot of moments where I was like,
Trinity
all right.
breaks the Wookiee free, and then they all just like,
I didn't like that.
and they died somehow.
Anything that had to do with the flashback stuff, I didn't really
The
care
flashbacks
for.
were awful. Those were the worst episodes,
I agree.
and they didn't help anything.
If anything, it made it more like,
Well, yeah,
it's like, oh, now that explains why that's like that, but it's still bad.
yeah. Well, let me go back. So May and Osha, I don't like that part of the writing was bad. I
it's
think
bad.
because I didn't know what each one wanted from episode to episode because it
But
kept changing.
I also didn't
was like,
care
what's
about
happening?
them.
Yeah, well, I mean, that too. That's the main thing. I didn't really care. But I just didn't understand. Like, at one point, she wants revenge.
Yeah.
And then she decides she doesn't want to be the dark side anymore. And she flip-flops. She's like, I'm going to go turn myself in. I guess because she met Osha again. But and then she's like, okay, I'm going to turn myself into the Jedi. Then she gets surrounded by the Jedi. And then she's like, I'm not turning myself in. She's like, what? This is your chance.
Yeah.
And then she takes May's or Osha's place for some reason. What was her goal there? To escape and leave May because she wants to get back with Osha, and that's why she's going to turn herself in. But then she has the chance to turn herself in, doesn't do that, and then she just ditches Osha on the planet, like on this dangerous planet.
It doesn't make any sense.
And then the guy who just killed Osha's best friends, she goes with him, and she's just like, oh, well, he's got muscles though, so.
He's hot.
I saw him naked, so I mean,
he's packing.
Darth Thirst, man. That's all I had to.
I don't blame him.
Dr.
He's
Teeth.
pretty good looking, and he's just
I
like
hated his
constantly-
helmet though, but whatever.
Yeah,
it's
he's constantly mewing.
Yeah, man, he's just freaking. I mean, he's a good-looking guy, dude. He's
Have
he's
you ever
ripped,
watched The Good
but
Place?
I've seen some of it.
He's
Yeah.
so good.
Is he in that?
I
Okay, I
love
did.
him in that show.
I've
so
seen
much.
like season 1 only.
He's so good.
But that's the thing. Like I'm like, well, okay. So then she goes with him, and he's just killed all her friends basically, except for Soul. But maybe she doesn't even know that at this point. I don't remember. And she's just like fine with him, and she's like, sure, let's go together. I don't know, and she's like, well, trusts him, and she whatever. So there's a lot of that, like flip flopping, and I'm like, who? And then at the end, she turns evil because she finds out that Soul killed her mother, but she doesn't ever like question him about it, like give him a chance to say anything, and he doesn't say anything. He's just kind of like whining about it. That's the other thing. If he just said, "Listen, I thought she was gonna hurt May, so I tried to stop her because she was turning into a weird smoky monster,"
that
and was
was
gonna like.
Then she'd be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Because the way the kids talked about it to the Jedi, they made it sound like super like sketchy. Like, what are these witches doing with kids? Like, if you said that to somebody, like, hey, there's a coven of witches,
They
and they have some weird ceremony with these kids, you might be like,
Yeah.
I mean, just explain it.
Well, I
don't
see
know.
people trying to defend it, being like, well, I mean, if they explain everything, it's not going to have any mystery. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
I know, but this part... Is it the Force or is it not the Force? These look like dark side powers.
Well,
That's
that's,
all I'm
why they're
saying.
thinking that like Darth Plagueis is kind of behind all this. He's trying to find a way to cheat death by like
Sure.
creating life.
Well,
yada yada.
yeah, my thought was, I assumed they were going to be like, oh, he saw that this is how life was created, so he's just going to steal what the witches did
That's
through
what I thought.
Osha and
Yeah.
learn, whatever, Osha and May. I don't know. And so you find out that they're the same person too, and I don't know how that
They're
works.
not sisters. They're
not
the actual same person.
They're not even clones, really, or you know what I mean. You wouldn't call them a clone,
Yeah.
but because it's whatever.
Well, that's what confused me. He's like, "You're not sisters. You're the same person." I'm like,
Yeah, but what's
isn't
the
that kind of what like
yeah.
identical twins kind of are? In
I mean,
a way?
no,
How
they
you
have different
identical?
chromosomes, but yeah.
So you are literally a clone.
Essentially,
weird.
but you're not because you're made through the Force. But here's the question: so what are the ramifications of that? Because nobody talks about it. Like, well, what does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
You're clearly different. You're not the same. You know what I mean?
Then you're definitely.
I mean, or
not
they
the
are
same.
kind of because they flip flop. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, if they're the same, then I don't know. What's the point? What does it matter if they're the same? You know what I mean? Do they need to be together and become one person again somehow? You know, like I don't know. You know, some weird forcey thing, or if they're separated, do they feel like they're less? Are they more powerful? You know what I'm saying? There's no like.
It doesn't make any sense.
I was like, why does it matter?
Yeah, no kidding.
Just make it one person. Who cares?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't.
I don't know what the twin thing has to do with it.
The twin has nothing to do with it. It literally has nothing to
Yeah.
do with anything. It's just
the,
like
the witches didn't explain it.
It was an idea from like, you know, extended universe, like the twins. They have powers. I mean, it's done
that's
multiple
cool,
times.
But that's different.
But
like
they
you're
don't
not saying
need
yeah.
that. If it was just one character, this would be super cool. I
Well,
think.
it makes make them two, but like make it a plot point to be like, hey, they need to come together or they're gonna die. You know what I mean? Like because they're the same, their soul is pulled apart or whatever you want to say, or it's a copy, or say, hey, when we're together, dude, no one can stop us because we're so freaking powerful in the Force because we're like we're literally a virgins.
No kidding.
But they don't do anything like that. They're just like their own. They just like hate each other, or like they don't, but they do.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't like each other. You know what I mean? They don't interact well.
Something
They're always
that's-
fighting when they're together.
And they also
They're just like screwing each other over.
there's like a weird. I don't know how to put it. They feel like they're just like spectating.
Yeah, they're just like going through and things are happening around them.
Exactly. They're not really making any decisions that. They make one decision at the end.
They're just, yeah. They're
And then everything else is just kind of happening to them.
yeah, until she actually kills Soul,
Which is
which is stupid because it's like this person who you've. I mean, I guess you could say, oh, he betrayed me, so I'm just gonna kill him now. But it still doesn't feel right. Like I feel like she should be like, I don't know.
I mean,
The one who was actually trying to kill him is just like, no, we should take him to the Jedi now.
So it's more like OSHA has become the bad one now.
Yeah, they swap
like,
places
okay,
basically.
cool.
But what's the point?
I just feel bad for Soul. He was doing the best he could, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna save these kids, and then
The weirdest
they
thing-
blamed it all on him.
Right,
Which is like-
kind of cool in a way.
It's
but
like, oh, that's interesting, and that's kind of like
because it sounds like something that would be real.
also reminds me of like the Dark Knight. You know, they're blaming it all on him, and
That- I think
to
it'd be-
save the bigger
Yeah.
plan.
I think what would have been better would be before he died. He's like,
Well-
to save OSHA or something.
well,
He
I
would say, "Blame it on me. I'll take the fall."
Yeah.
I'm dead anyway. you
I
know?
did like the fact
don't
that
know.
as he was dying, he was like, "It's okay." I was like, "That's pretty good of him."
Yeah, I guess. I don't know why force choke him. I don't know.
What'd you think of the bleeding kyber crystal?
That was kind of cool.
It's happened in.
Did she literally bleed on it? I can't remember. Or is
No,
it just
it's-
because it just changed because she's holding it? Because it
It's
looked
like
like
you-
it came from her thumb, but maybe it's just like
crushing
light
it,
color.
and it like bleeds it.
So
It's
it
weird.
breaks when May throws it, which is stupid. I don't know why it shouldn't break that easily, but
Yeah.
whatever. So she can like touch it with her skin at the same time.
It's weird.
It's different in, I don't know what it is now. Is it that is the canon now? You have to do it with your emotions. Because in the other extended, it's kind of like they're either like they're made crystals, so that's why they're red, or that I don't know, or that it's something like that. I don't know how it works, but
Also,
that was kind of cool. I don't know if I don't know if I like that it was like changing at the end.
It would've been cool if
I
it's
think you
just-
should have showed it like change in this crystal, and then once you ignited it again, it was red.
yeah.
It kind of looked cool, but I didn't really care. It's like interesting. It's like okay,
What else
whatever.
can I talk about?
So writing stuff. Soul. The only thing he did was kind of be weird about being like, oh, she's gonna be my Padawan, like picking her out. That was kind of strange.
A little creepy.
I mean, it was weird that he picked her in particular.
He was also saying,
I guess she was the one who's willing. But,
yeah, they're also too young or too old.
Well, right.
It's like, yeah, they would
you
be
don't
training
usually
younger.
take them.
And then,
Although that never seems to be an issue, so it's like whatever.
yeah, no kidding.
Here's the only thing with that is I would be like, it sounds weird that the Jedi want to take them younger, because then it sounds like you just want to indoctrinate them instead of allowing them to be like, oh, this is the right path.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it doesn't seem to be a problem because all the older people like Luke and Rey and whoever are like, hey, this is the good path. I just needed to see it, whatever. I get it, but I get what they're saying because you can learn better from the start. Whatever.
I agree.
But yeah. Anyway. So, let's talk about the flashbacks.
Well, I wanted to talk about...
Well, go ahead.
It's in the flashback.
Okay, go ahead.
The whole reason this happened, everything happened is because idiot kid Torben got homesick.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's his worst. That's the worst thing he did, too. Like,
he's like,
and
I
then,
want to
like,
go home.
yeah.
Let's just go kill everybody, or let's just go confront them.
something. But that's so weird, though.
He started this whole entire thing just because he was homesick for Coruscant.
So the Jedi are evil.
That's one thing I could
my
not get
point.
over. I'm like, okay, this might be my
Yeah, that was
least
the worst
favorite character.
motivation.
I want to go home.
What did you expect? As
He was
a
just
Jedi,
like
dude?
bored.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna go home. I'm bored.
Tired of science.
I'm
So
gonna go kill a bunch of witches.
he doesn't even want to do that. He just wants to be
He
like,
said,
let's just get it over with.
Let's get the kids and leave because
it's
I don't
basically
wanna
what
deal
we're
with
talking
this.
about, which is
Even they told her like, no, you should not do that.
Well, yeah, obviously. That's
Dum dums.
yeah. So they're on this planet not because they're here to steal kids.
No, they're here
Which is what they
because
make it out as, like, oh, these Jedi are still here. They're lurking about. It's like, no, they're here because this planet was dead and now there's like full of life.
Yeah.
So they're just
I thought that
they're
was
just
super
scientists.
cool. I thought that was like a
Yeah.
good idea. It's
I was like, that's fine. They're using a metal detector and all that stuff, but
I
whatever.
yeah, that was funny.
Yeah,
the
whatever, who
Wookiees
cares?
out metal detecting.
He's just like, I'm not just here for the money. I don't care. But they're not here for like some nefarious reason. Like, at least make it that if you want to make the Jedi bad looking, and maybe they don't, but it seemed like that was their goal. And they kind of failed at that.
From the get-go, it
and I
was
was like,
just...
I thought the witches were the bad ones, even from the beginning.
I really like the writers are just like, get this. Jedis are actually bad.
Yeah. Think about this.
Think
The
about
good
that.
guys are bad. They're corrupt.
Whoa.
I know you never thought about any institutions,
Crazy.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, have some Jedi who are corrupt and lame or whatever. Not lame, but bad.
I agree.
And then, but I don't think it's good to put that on the whole order. Like, it seemed like the Green Lady was like, had some things going on. Like, it seems like, okay, she's like a crooked cop within a good system. Sure, there's plenty of those, but anyway. So, at start, the witches always seem bad to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what their deal is. Are they there because the virgins? And so they're like, hey, this is like a nexus of force power, so now we can use it to create these kids through the force. We're going to manipulate the metachlorians, which they don't say. They say M count, which is funny. Whatever. And so now we've made these super powerful people, and they have to team up. I don't know why they're twins, but whatever. They're not twins. They're the same person. And now they're going to team up and be the leaders. And so I guess they don't explain that, but they're like, hey, you'll run the coven someday. Was that their whole goal, being there?
I think so.
What do these little marks mean anyway? What's
all-
the difference between that, like Osha and May? Is that just so in the future you can tell the difference?
a yin and a yang.
Yeah, but what's the point? What is this? It didn't mean anything.
There's no point.
Like, it seems like that should have caused some kind of power, like, oh, that little, it's cool, but like, what does it mean? Besides, hey, how do we tell them apart? Oh my gosh.
I know. This
This might require 2 episodes to talk about. I don't know.
I'm looking at my notes here.
Sure.
See if I have anything.
So,
to kinda-
okay, so then the Jedi show up in the third one, and we're like, oh man, they're here to spread some trouble, but not really. I mean, they're here because they're worried about these kids who are like apparently being groomed for some kind of sacrifice as far as they know, the Jedi, I mean. They're like, I don't know why they don't just meet up and be like, hey, tell us about your culture and tell us about what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Like, let's just talk. Again, if people just talk, it'd be fine. Like, that would be the Jedi way, I feel like.
With a show with a lot of talking,
yeah,
there's a couple words they don't really say that could just fix all of it.
Right.
Because of stupid reasons, I have no idea why.
Because they would be a quick show. It'd be boring.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, okay, this is what's going on. Interesting. Oh, you made these kids through the Force. Whoa, can we talk? Like, can you meet our masters and like, let's just be friends, right?
Yeah.
Let's work together.
There's a lot
but
of
instead, it's like, hey, let's take over this Padawan's mind and like be real like creepy, like.
Yeah,
like assault him with the Force. That sounds like that's like a dark side thing. To just like get in someone's mind without their permission.
There's great ideas in the show.
So weird.
But I feel like the decisions everybody's making in the show are the dumbest decisions. Period.
Yeah, I'm not against like what's going on generally.
No, like technical standpoint, the writing is a mess. Dialogue wise, story structure wise. I don't care about anyone's motivations. There's no like bonds with any of the characters. Like Osha,
or they're very like quick and like, oh, now we're just friends for some reason.
I did not feel
it needs to be
thing for Osha and May.
I just didn't like him at the end.
Well, it's because the story is like telling you have to care about them and not actually like giving you a reason to care about them.
Yeah,
that's what annoys me. Is it's like. Right,
I know they went.
Now cry at this scene.
Well, right, it's hard to feel bad for May because she went and started a fire.
Yeah, and that's something that bothered me.
What the witches said, like, and then the flashback. I'm like, wait, this is supposed to be a good thing, and the lady's like attacks her for a second, and then she's like, now go stop her, and then she locks everybody in, and then starts a fire. It's like, what?
It's all stupid.
And you assume you're like, oh, there's something else went on here, right? You're like, oh, the Jedi did something like nefarious. Maybe that dude who the kid who like I don't know who he went into like a silence for 10 years because he felt so bad about what he did. He didn't do anything. I mean, he was a little impetuous and was just like, I want to go home, and that's the worst thing he did.
I know.
He didn't even like kill the witch lady. He was just blocking lasers.
There was
like he didn't. What did he do? I mean, maybe he was traumatized by that weird lady getting inside his head and like oddly seducing him and being like, "Oh, you want to go home?" Which doesn't come back at all.
No, it doesn't.
Because they're like, "Oh, fortify your mind," and it's like, "We're good." I mean,
right,
the
cool,
Wookiee
thanks.
does, but it doesn't matter. And the only one time we get to see the Wookiee fight, he's like possessed.
I kind of
it was
like
cool.
It was cool.
He
He was like scary. I was like,
Yeah.
he's huge.
I thought he was cool,
He's
but it was
huge.
also like I'd like to see him. I don't know, whatever. It's fine. But
I mean,
I just don't think the Jedi did anything bad, and I just don't. I felt like the witches were more sketchy than anything.
I don't think that the only person that did something bad was like the leader chick, the bald-headed green lady. She's like,
Well, that Jedi. Yeah. She was real sketchy.
Soul did it all.
Well,
It's
right.
like, okay, sure.
She apparently did something. She had some run-in with her Padawan,
There was a
Kamir.
yeah, that was
He's
her
got.
Padawan. And that's why he has
the
all
lightsaber whip.
That's what I was gonna say. That's why he has all the
wounds.
whipped. Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
So
I would have
I
been
think-
more interested to see that.
I think they're trying to set up for season 2 for her to be like the villain.
yeah,
and I'm
probably.
like, bro, they're trying to make Osha. Okay, she's technically the protagonist. And the protagonist just means that it's the character you're following the story of. They can
Yes.
be bad characters, like bad guys.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
But now they're trying to be like
Poor
Kamir and her
characters.
are going to be a couple and they're going to win. And they're going to be the real heroes. It's
yeah.
like, okay, I guess.
Well, yeah,
don't care.
but they're going to be the bad guys, which I.
But now they're saying
know.
like season 2,
Sith.
that means the Jedi will be the bad guys.
Maybe. I mean, if you write it the same way you did it here, then the Jedi aren't going to be. You're going to.
Yeah.
If that's what their goal was with Jedi equals bad and corrupt, they failed. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
and the good people that they like the witches that they were trying to promote as good, I was like, I don't like these. Like, there's something up with this. Like, explain something. Or you know what I mean? Like these flashbacks aren't helping me. I'm just getting more confused and like. So the Jedi didn't do that much. I mean, there was like a big mess, but nobody did anything like wrong.
Yeah. It's all The plot is just one big misunderstanding.
Yeah, you stabbed the lady, but
It's just a misunderstanding.
don't turn into a smoke. Just say what you're gonna do. Don't freak out. But
I'm gonna let her go.
I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. Why say? Why even be like?
And then fangs come out, and then you turn into dust, and your eyes turn black. You're like, oh, what's going on?
I was going to let her leave.
Now
Now you've killed me. Now this will haunt you for the rest of your life. Which I mean, fair, it would kind of, but
how dare you? I was only gonna just turn into a dark cloud and release her.
I'm not saying that you don't have like some like regrets. Because obviously you were like, oh, I didn't want that to happen, but
you know, I feel
maybe
like
warn me first. I don't know. Like, what were you trying to do?
Technically,
and there's no answers.
I feel like the show could have been
I don't know,
really good if you kept the same plot, you kept the same you know, the same idea. Like there's a convergence, you guys, and then there's a misunderstanding, and then a Jedi, and then it gets pinned on this guy.
Yeah.
The writing, the pacing, the structure, the characters, it's all bad.
Yeah, I'm not even mad about the changes.
No, and Soul,
the Star Wars lore changes.
No, I don't
if
care.
it's good, but that just makes it worse. It just piles onto the bad.
I was like saying that, like, yeah, Soul and
Khmer,
the best part of the show. Easy.
Like, make them the.
That's what I'm thinking, man.
What if it was like, okay, well, I don't want to
also
rewrite it,
like
but whatever. What if it was the main green lady was older and and they were like, Soul was her Padawan once, and also Khmer was her Padawan, and they kind of like, but I don't know,
man.
And make Osha like a.
Just don't care about him.
Not a plot point, but to be like, hey, everyone's trying to capture her because she's the super powered, I mean, essentially Anakin.
Yeah.
You know, force convergence person. I don't know.
Well, it's just technically, it's just falling apart at the seams when it comes to writing.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it too far, and the dialogue is awful.
I just keep coming back to the main.
Dialogue is so bad and clunky.
I'm
going to kill you. Okay.
Well, I mean, that's just bad. They didn't have good kid actors. Whatever.
And I hate that stupid chant. That could have been reworked like 10 times before. They just picked the worst one right off the bat, it seemed like.
Oh, okay. So
power of many.
The power of many sucks because you cancel it out and they all die.
Yeah.
There's not power. It's like, okay, the power of one, she got stabbed.
Yeah.
The power of two, I don't know, they didn't win. And the power of many, they just got
possessed.
destroyed.
And the second that they come out of their mind, they all die.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, it just makes you think of that strong bad. And they died somehow. I don't know. That's why I laughed. I was like, what?
I want to talk about the last episode.
Yeah, so before we get right to there, yeah, my story-wise, if that whole main, what's the word I want? This whole story would work better if this whole beginning, the flashback stuff would have made sense. I just have a lot of questions. What were the witches about? What is the black stuff? Why were they invading people's minds? Were they actually good? Like, you know what I mean? It's just this. None of this really matters. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody did anything wrong, really. You know, they were gonna let her go. Well, except for that one, the horned witch. She kind of was bad because she didn't. She kind of. Yeah, I think she's the worst. I think she's the villain.
Who, the horned lady?
Yeah, if she didn't said anything, it would have been fine, probably for the most part. Like, May would have stayed and run the coven, and then Osha would have left and become a Jedi, and they could have met up and hung out and been like, hey.
It's like there's a blueprint.
But she's like, no, go stop her, and like, don't let anybody leave. You know what I mean? It's like, why are we fighting? It was just like, series of misunderstandings, and now, I mean, I guess, I don't know. It just felt dumb. It didn't work for me.
I agree.
I have lots of questions. Just explain more things. Somewhat.
Like I was saying, I think there's a blueprint here for a great show.
Yeah.
And it's just in the wrong hands of like an engineer to build it.
The inciting moment didn't work, therefore the rest of the show sucks. Yes. And I was like, there's no reason for anybody to be upset.
Yeah.
It's all just misunderstanding, and we can just
some
figure
weird stuff in the show. That's just like,
if we all just got together in a room and talked, it would be fine.
Yeah.
Or just because the plot would be slowed down or whatever, wouldn't be able to be contrived further that way. That's why we can't let him talk. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead with what you're going on to. I could just be like whiny about the whole time.
I got a lot to complain about the show. It's just
I just didn't understand. I was like, what is going on with this whole witch thing? What is happening?
Didn't make any sense. And there's a lot of stuff that just
okay.
It was clunky and weird, and I just think the writers just had like one draft and were like, good, let's go.
I think Soul, I mean, he felt a little guilty, which is fair because he didn't mean to kill her, but also he could have been like, hey, it wasn't my fault. Like, it was a misunderstanding. Like, can we just figure this out?
And as much as I'm complaining, it's not horrible. It's just like annoying. Is that the right word? I'm just annoyed.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not like,
it's just not good.
Yeah,
like I can't get
okay.
I can't be like, wow, that was amazing writing, because I'm like, well, no, that didn't make sense.
No, it's just okay.
And because that's not good, then I'm just nitpicking at every single thing that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Even if it's like, okay, it's not that big a deal. Again, like fire and space, whatever. I
can get past that.
I could live with that if the rest of it was good.
Stone temple caught on fire. I can get past that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, whatever. It got into electrical blood. I don't know. You can make something up.
Well,
maybe there was a gasoline leak, but there was like explosions and it would just like burst in the flames in like 5 minutes.
There's a bigger issue here, and I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna be that guy. I think a lot of it stems from having horrible main characters.
Yeah. I just don't.
No one cares about them,
and I don't know if that. It was mostly the writing.
No one feels anything for those characters. I felt for Soul.
Yeah,
and I felt for
because
that's it.
Lee Jung Jae is just like
he's amazing,
so good.
I hate to be that guy as well. I hate blaming actors, but I feel like
there's a little bit.
They're playing the same character. Like one actress is playing
no
two
difference.
people. They're the same person. They have someone that had more range. Like, how are you supposed to tell the difference at all? You don't.
Well, the little symbol on her head, although her hair covers it. Also,
what do you think about her chopping off her hair with a lightsaber?
It looked weird.
It looked really bad.
It was very. I mean, it was CG, I guess. So that's why it was like really like odd. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. And so their motivations didn't make sense from episode to episode. They changed what they wanted. And then by the end, they were essentially in the exact swap sides where they started.
Yes.
May is now helping the Jedi track down Osha and
Kamir,
and then Osha is now the villain who's like out there, training with Kamir. So I'm like, what was the point? Like, why did the point was for them to completely swap?
The memory wipe might have been my least favorite. That was so dumb.
Well, that whole scene was dumb.
Well, also, why erase everything? Why not just be like, just give her erase the memory of like the Jedi or like,
yeah. Does she now have the mental capacity of an 8-year-old?
That's what I'm wondering.
Like, yeah, why not just erase where they were going, or that whole just them in general? He said, I can attempt to." He said, "Attempt." It seemed pretty easy.
But why?
I can attempt to erase me and you from her memories. So just do that. Like she can remember the whole
only
other.
Reason it was either that I have to erase her memory or I want to kill her.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that was the thing. She's like,
failed. Oh, it's like that doesn't make any.
Was that the reason?
Yeah.
Okay.
She failed to be the
Sith she was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or what?
She failed her training, and it's like.
I feel like you could just say, yeah. I was like, well, yeah. I was watching. I was like, oh, I wish we could stay together. I was like, just go all together.
It
like,
doesn't
who
make any
cares?
sense.
It doesn't look like anybody's like that mad at each other.
No.
Like everybody seems pretty happy and chummy now. I mean, I guess except for Kamir's like, I guess I gotta kill her. I don't know, because there can only be 2, because we're Sith. Although Plagueis is in the cave,
but
so
the power of many.
No. Oh, okay. Well, that's right. But that's why we're sending her off too, because the power of 2. I don't know. Like, what are we talking about? What does that have to do with anything? What was that chance?
I got some more notes, just small little nitpicks. You ready for some?
Again, with the witches. I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? What? What does this whole thing have to do? The flashbacks, man. Those are freaking killing me. Those are the worst episodes, and I don't get it. I don't get it. It was dumb. It doesn't make sense.
I got some dumb notes that I thought were funny.
Let me look at my notes, too. Yes, give me some dumb notes.
Jedi.
Yeah.
Asked to get a perimeter set up. The other Jedis. 8 to 12 Jedis just follow each other through the woods. that bugged the heck out of me. This weird like groundhog guy sniffing around.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
like,
dude.
She's like, build a perimeter.
Basil.
Yes.
Freaking my man Basil. I thought at first I didn't like him, but I thought about it and I was like, I like Basil. He's the agent of chaos, man.
Well,
he doesn't. We don't know what he's doing.
That's what I was gonna say. Who is this guy? Because like
he's out to watch the world burn, man. That's what his deal is.
Soul's like chasing her through this asteroid belt, and then he's just like tearing apart the ship.
Well, at first he's like, "Oh, we're buddies with the Jedi. I'm a tracker, man. We're all friends.
Like,
everybody knows him."
I hate the Jedi.
And then he goes on the ship, and he's like, "Uh-oh, I gotta warn Saul that this is not OSHA," which I feel like he should know because he can sense it. Whatever. Maybe they're the same person.
But then he's also tell. Like,
but then so he helps him figure it out, and then he's just like,
sabotages.
Yeah, what's he doing? I mean, maybe he didn't want. What's he about? Who knows? He's great.
I audibly like cringed when she was talking about the perimeter scene, and then the next scene, it's just like they're all like in a small huddle together, just walking through the woods.
All right,
it's
like a perimeter. Everybody.
What's this perimeter you're talking about? She says like 5
Spread
meters.
Out.
Or she says like
whatever.
She wanted like a 5 mile perimeter or whatever. And then they're just like all like in holding hand range. It's so stupid.
I don't even. That's funny. Anyway, Basil though, he's my man. He's here to watch the world burn. That's all I know. I don't know what his motivation is.
There's also some like weird technical like stuff that I noticed that really bugged me, and it's just it's just nitpicky at this point. But like,
sure, go for it. Get nitpicky.
Obviously, like weird punching and like one thing that got me
the hand-to-hand battle stuff was not good.
Bad. When Osha and May were fighting each other hand to hand, I'm like, this is the worst fight scene I've ever seen. It's really bad. Like swinging way above their heads and like ducking.
Yeah, they're like 5 feet apart and they're like punching at each other, and still dodging for some reason. Anyway, whatever.
It feels.
Hey, it looked good as far as like, hey, we're replacing their faces.
I was like, oh,
with
that's pretty
stunt
cool.
doubles or whatever. I was like, that's good.
That stuff's all
It
cool.
looked good.
The show looks awesome.
VFX wise,
like cinematography at the beginning wasn't great. It got super good at the end. I was like, great.
It got better.
The one, it's just like small little things that I noticed, and it's hard to put my tongue on it of like exactly the word for it.
Don't put your tongue.
Put my finger on it. But she like, it's May, and she is escaping Soul's ship, and she gets into the smaller ship,
right?
And she like closes the door, and there's like a span of time where Soul's standing.
Oh yeah,
2 feet away from the door while it's open, and he's like, if only I could just get in there, and it's like closes, and he's like, oh, I can't.
There's something like that. There was something like
What's
that.
What's the word I'm looking for? Where it's like, it just feels way too
bad dream where you can't walk fast enough.
It just feels too. There's like a barrier of like not being able to do what the characters are actually supposed to do. They're like
story barrier,
plot
armor. I don't know what you can call it.
If I could just get there, and he like kind of.
Oh no!
He like jolts forward while it's still open, and he like stops himself because like, I guess I can't even.
Well, it's because the plot has to continue. She's got to. I don't know why they couldn't just fly down on the planet together and then he get attacked and
the characters' choices are because the plot has to continue. Not
but
because
why?
I guess that it makes sense to do so.
I wonder if they're like, okay, so we have to have the knife fight scene with the Jedi. We got that. So we need to have fight scene in the woods. We did that, and we need to have a flying fight scene. And here's where it is. And so we're like, how do we get her in there? I
think it's even less than
Here
that.
we go.
I think it was more like we have twins, and then at the end it's the Jedi's fault. Now connect the dots.
Well, yeah, but I just mean, what's the reason for her to get in that ship instead of being like, let's just go down? Here's an option. She stays. He tells her. He doesn't tell her what happened exactly. Whatever. They go down to the planet at the same time. Then Kamira attacks Soul. She gets away, and she goes back and meets with Osha anyway.
Makes sense.
It's all the same, right? Then we don't even need this weird. I mean, it's cool looking. They fly through like the rings of the planet.
That was awesome, and that's
the reason I think they did it. They're like, we need a space flight battle.
I mean, there's a checklist.
Was he gonna kill her? Like, what was his plan? I mean, maybe he should have. I don't know.
Probably should.
Like, why even bring that up to be like, oh, he's evil. I knew it. oh, I knew these Jedi were evil. Someone's gonna murder her.
Who's this character?
I don't know where he came from. Who's that actor? David.
Oh,
that guy.
Freaking.
From Mrs. Doubtfire and from Independence Day. What's his name? He's great.
What is his name? Anyway.
You look like a mother. Oh, and he does the voice on Mulan.
Oh, that's right.
That guy, what's his name? Yao. And I'm Yao. King. Anyway, I love doing this voice. Anyway, he smoked one too many. Anyway, I don't know what that voice, but he's like, yeah, oh, I'm an evil Jedi and I'm gonna kill her. Or am I gonna kill her? I don't know. Good thing this rodent is here to
stop me.
Basil is here to destroy my ship and knows exactly what cords to pull and whatever. Who cares?
You gonna wrap it up?
I guess. I
feel like it's like.
I feel like there's so much more to talk about, and yet there's like nothing.
Here's the thing, though. I'm also like
whatever.
less offended by the show than I am like Obi-Wan and stuff.
Yeah, I don't hate it as much as
I don't.
For
I
whatever.
think it's actually better.
Maybe it's
somehow
because I don't
than Obi-Wan, and it's also because
I don't know if it's
when you
better,
write
but
these characters like Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, you're writing yourself into a corner.
Yeah,
because you know everything about this character, and it's something that always bugged me about Disney. They're just rehashing. It's like the prequels. You had a whole arc just to undo it for a couple episodes and then put it back in place.
yeah. Well, yeah.
And it's the same thing with Boba Fett. He has a whole arc.
Yeah.
Bring him back so how do you do...
Well, now he's a good guy.
It reminds me of a video game where it's a sequel video game. So it's like Jedi Survivor.
You have to restart them.
Exactly. You have to restart them to give them, a reason to go
it's
through
like,
it.
okay, yeah. So you play a Fallen Order and you've built him up and he's super powerful.
And then
you
the
start
next one,
like,
I don't have any abilities.
Here's how you swing your lightsaber.
Exactly.
Here's force pull, even though you'd mastered
it's not even that. It's almost like
whatever.
There's a.
But not even that.
It's
yeah,
like
you have to reset
forgetting
them.
you had abilities and then having to relearn them all again.
Yes. It's like when
you write yourself
movies will do it
into
a
a
lot.
corner. Disney's writing themselves in the corner when they write
repeat
about
arcs.
characters that have these arcs already completed, and that's
Right.
why I think I think this is better than those because they have more freedom to do whatever they want. I don't have any preconceived notions about these characters.
I don't have any attachments either. So
No.
I'm like, well, you do. Oh, they ruined OSHA because.
But they
in
can
this,
also
you
try.
blah, blah, blah.
They can try new things, and that's what I like. I'm not gonna go watch an Obi-Wan show, and it's like, you know what?
There's some new
He's
things.
evil now. It's like, what?
Well, at least that would have been some kind of interesting thing in that movie, in that show. But
it's the fact that like you're setting yourself up
Yeah.
for failure when you do that with characters that already are.
it depends on who it is. But yeah, generally.
But like I cared for Soul. I liked him. I liked the fighting. They tried new things with the Sith guy and the tiny lightsabers.
oh
It was
yeah,
cool.
his
The
little
knife.
his little Daito
I liked it.
or Shoto. I don't know the Daito lightsaber.
I liked it when he
freaking
killed,
stabbed.
What's her name? The 3-tap triangle
Yeah, man,
to the
that
chest.
that was pretty brutal.
Where has this
I was like,
been?
finally, some like Sith who's just like, I'm out to just.
I
murder
felt
people.
for her when she died.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well-
and that fight scene was probably
Yeah.
my favorite. She
It
had
was-
two,
yeah.
he had two. They were just going
It was
at
cool.
it.
That was a cool scene.
She was
Jackie,
good.
I liked her.
Daphne Keene.
I mean, there was some parts where I was like, okay. Well, what was weird was she was like, oh, now I'm friends with OSHA for some reason.
Yeah.
But then OSHA doesn't really care after she gets killed by the dude, but whatever, because he's hot. But
He's hot.
he's hot.
So hot.
Saw him swim for no good reason. He just went
He
and
was
got in the
very
water and
naked.
came back out.
Very
He didn't
naked
even
and
wash. He just got in the water because he
got
knew I was following him.
Yeah.
And he was just like, check this out.
Show her my butt.
And
Check out my
and
butt.
other things.
Yeah.
How'd you? I kind of like it. So the armor stuff was like a disruptive for the lightsabers.
Loved that.
That was cool.
I
What's
love
that called?
When he like hit his head on the
Yeah.
lightsaber, I was like, whoa.
It was kind of cool. Yeah, that was a cool idea because it's like what the Padawans would wear when they lightsaber fight. Anyway, that's cool. What's that stuff called?
I don't remember.
That was an interesting idea. But then they did the weird force. So like. The force, you can't sense them through the helmet. It's a whole Magneto thing.
He said
right?
it was like a deprivation
Yeah,
tank
but
for the Force, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's
you
only
can't-
you in your mind, but
Yeah.
other people can't penetrate it.
I think that was
Which
cool.
made sense. Like, actually, the first reason why someone would wear a helmet.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's cool. Helmet sucked, but
Why else would
the
you wear-
idea is
yeah.
cool. But, and then, yeah, I don't know. OSHA puts it on, and that was kind of weird. Why did he get all black-eyed, like she was invading his
A lot
mind?
of stuff that doesn't make sense.
She sees,
The future.
yeah, and it's just a lot of contrived stuff. She's like, oh, now I gotta go because she's gonna kill Soul. And then Kamir's like,
It's-
well, I'm the only one who got the ship. And she's like, well, let's go together.
It's like I
What?
said, it's just
Okay.
that this has to
Whatever.
happen. Not,
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't make sense that it happens.
Well,
that
like
way.
you
no one's
said-
making a decision that makes sense. It's just, I have to make this decision for the plot to keep going.
It's like instead of writing down the reason, there was just written, and then they go,
Yes.
and then they do,
And then this happened.
and here, and then this, yeah. It's like,
I
well, there's
heard-
no reason behind it. This is just
Yeah.
what needs to happen. Here's how we get to A to B, and that's just the easiest way to get there. No,
I heard that
not
there
smart.
was a. I was doing a master class on writing, and someone was talking about that. You don't want to write stories like, and then this happens, and then this happens. You want to do, and this happens because,
yeah,
like, and because of this,
logical
this
steps.
has to happen.
Yeah. Which is a lot of, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of like, well, why is she doing this? Did you explain it?
No.
What's the meaning behind
It
it?
just has to happen because we have to get to the next scene.
Why does May suddenly decide that she doesn't want to kill these Jedi? You know, why she give up and then Kamir's got to like try and coax her into doing like,
Because
oh,
we
you
have
can
more
still do-"
episodes to
What's the
get
point?
to,
Yeah. Because we want her to run away and find the. How did he get to the? I don't know. How did he get to the Wookiee Jedi, or was that before her?
I don't know. She just
How did he
kinda
get
showed up?
Whatever. I mean,
She's like, I'm here now. Everybody,
Yeah,
everybody chill out. I'm here.
yeah. And then why did she decide that she's not going to give herself into the Jedi when she already said that was her plan?
Why did she want to go with a Jedi in the first place?
I guess because
that's the
May,
plot.
but yeah, like they don't specify that.
Because we need her to. Not because
Maybe they
she-
do specify. That's like the only one maybe that maybe makes sense because she finds OSHA. Although she should know that she's still alive. Does she think she's dead?
No, I mean, as a kid, why would she want to go with the Jedi?
Oh yeah. OSHA herself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why would
Who
she
are
want
these
to be a
people?
Jedi?
I mean, if they specified like, oh, I would like to get out of here early on while they're talking alone.
Yeah,
They
no.
didn't say anything about that. Also, she gets saved by getting sucked into that port, which I thought of like, okay, that's kind of like Luke,
Yeah.
but it was like a 90-degrry angle.
How would
Instead
that
of
work?
it was like, I don't know. It was instead of like Luke's was like he kind of slid into it, sort of. I don't know. Whatever. I just thought that was funny. That's got to be a lot of
You know,
vacuum to pull her through that.
if
I don't
nothing
know.
else, I can give this show, like, I can give it, like, it's okay.
I don't
For
know.
Soul alone, I think he is brilliant in this show.
I don't think it's worth watching.
I don't
But
know. I liked it.
the parts of it were okay. Let's
I hate
say
to
that.
say that there's some stuff that I liked in this show.
No, they're good. Yeah, right.
Overall,
Battle
though,
scenes,
the show's
cool.
just kind of.
Soul was good in the show, but should you watch the show? I would say no.
You can go watch a lot of the scenes on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's
I
just
just didn't know what they. I don't know.
There's just so much like cool stuff in a show that's not good. Does that make sense? Lightsaber fights are cool. There's a couple of scary moments. There's a lot of more like, you know, they went a darker route with some things.
Yeah,
There's
no
like
mystery though.
there's some
like
really
they
cool like
teased.
cinematography, some cool shots. Soul's great,
Sure.
the villain's great,
I liked that they did some like.
but there's just like
Yeah.
there's nothing in between.
I like that with the fight scenes, they kind of tried to make it like Asian influence.
Well, that's what I was saying. This is what I've been wanting. I've said
Crouching Tiger, you know, like
I said
kung
in
fu
a
movie style.
an episode a
That's
while
cool.
ago how I've been wanting to see something new from Star Wars. I wanted to see something that was more Japanese inspired.
Yeah, or Asian at any rate. I don't know if that's just.
I said
Japanese.
it was when
Probably
that
Chinese,
the
but yeah.
anime started showing, and it was like the episode about it was the black and white episode. I'm like, I want something like this.
Yeah.
And it's the first Star Wars show or movie that
Or movie.
did not go to any desert or ice planets.
Well,
It was all.
it was. Well, they did go to an ice planet.
They did go to an ice planet. No desert planets though, which was great.
But it was all green planets. Also, Coruscant looked kind of lame. It looked very like gray.
Yeah.
I don't know what was.
I'm
I
just
don't know what was
happy
off
that-
with Coruscant, but it looked weird.
I'm happy that they tried to like.
It was all forest planets.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
I'm glad I'm to see something
It's
that's
fine.
not a
It was
desert
awful.
planet for a change.
Sure.
I'm tired.
They
of
didn't
seeing-
need to go. I
I'm
guess
tired
there
of
was,
seeing Tatooine a million times.
I mean, what other planets can you have? I guess they had like an ocean planet or an island planet, which was the unknown Sith place. But
Well, now people are like that.
Oh, no.
That island's Doctu, and that's where Luke goes.
Docto, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, something like that.
No,
I don't think
that's
so.
Not it.
I mean, I guess
that's
it could
not
be.
it. Just stop.
Show me some porgs and we'll find out. I guess.
Anyway, Acolyte. Watch it
It broke new ground. I
or
don't know.
notch it.
Notch it.
I'd say there's watch
I'd say
episode
if you're-
5, and then that's it.
I'd say
I don't know.
search the Acolyte lightsaber battles on YouTube,
Yeah,
and that's pretty much you're gonna get the good stuff.
yeah. What a missed opportunity we had.
Yeah, I just don't know how this is gonna work. I just
When
with,
they
like,
announced it, I was like, yeah,
I just feel like
go.
I should be more excited to be like, oh, finally Plagueis, but he's
Yeah.
weird. I don't know, like how's that gonna work? Is
I think
I don't know. It just felt so like random to
Star
throw him
Wars
in and like
is in the
Yoda.
position-
Like, what's the point?
Star Wars is in the position to do the funniest thing ever
Add him in earlier.
and have young Palpatine in the next season.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
I think that's
Can we
that would be
de-age Ian
the-
McDermott?
that would be the funniest thing. Well, I think that what they would do is they would cast Matt Smith like they said they were gonna do for the
Yeah,
Rise of Skywalker.
I mean, Matt Smith is pretty hot right now. He's in the
he
House of the Dragon.
He's so hot right
He's
now.
very good. I don't mean that hot, but
What's that? Did
Make
you watch
him here.
Zoolander? That Hansel is so hot right now.
yeah, yeah. No, I just mean House of the Dragon, which
Talk
is
about a
actually
good show.
Which is actually a really good show.
Yeah, I was gonna say, talk about a good show.
You want to watch a good show? That's how you do it. That's what I want. I want that, but Star Wars. Not exactly that, but like that feel.
Dragons
Which is what
and
I feel like they
Star
should have kind of done. That'd be cool.
I agree. I 100%
Which is kind of like, well, I guess that would be more. I guess that'd be more Knights of the Old Republic style, but something like that. I don't know.
Well, they
That's what
brought
I was
back-
hoping this would
They
be.
brought back lightsaber throwing from Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, dude, that makes me think. Also,
yeah, give me that.
might be the coolest part is where he's throwing his lightsabers at Soul, where the final battle, and Soul puts away his lightsaber and he does that sweet like force move, like
So cool.
the like circular.
That's what I'm
and
saying,
That was
dude.
cool. I was like,
I
oh,
was
that's
like-
pretty sick.
I think.
That's
no,
what I wanna see.
I genuinely think this is the best action we've had in Star Wars
Yeah.
since the prequels.
Yeah, probably. It's the best Disney Star Wars action.
It was
Lightsaber battles, anyway.
choreographed, fluid. VFX looked awesome. There was some really cool moments. I mean, I thought that the action and cinematography with that stuff was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, where have you been?
One other
What
thing,
are you doing?
Yeah. One other
I just look back to the scene with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fighting, or they meet for the first time, and he's just like burning.
yeah. What was happening?
And then Darth Vader's just like watching from afar. That
it
scene
was
is
weird.
so bad.
It was really weird.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
bad.
Could have been good. Maybe. I don't know.
We just need to have a yearly just Star Wars episode where we
Well,
get
we
to
used-
complain about it.
I don't even need a yearly. I could do that weekly, really. Well, not weekly,
Yeah.
but. So one other thing I'll say is, I wish they weren't. I wish they would keep the good and the bad more clear.
No one knows what's going on anymore.
Well, that's what Star Wars is, man. It's an archetype. It's good versus evil, and I'm cool with seeing like here's the villains and let's follow them because that sounds cool. Like I'm
But
down
they're
with that.
overgeneralizing with all
But
Jedi
every-
are bad.
Yeah. Well, it's yeah. I just don't like.
I don't think all Jedi
Well,
are bad.
they're like, oh, the villains are good. They have a reason for doing this. Well, they're not good. They're
It's
evil.
fine to like
You've
sympathize
forgotten that
with
they
the
went
villain.
around murdering people. Yeah,
I think that's what happened is they said
but
they say it's good to sympathize with your villain, so let's make them good people.
right.
somehow.
But now we don't have good guys anymore. The good guys are the villains, but they do villainous things. So are they villains? Even the witches were like not good guys.
Was there any good guys?
That's what I'm
in the
saying.
show?
Who was good? in
Soul.
this? I mean, you could make like.
Soul.
I just want some clear like, here's an actual good person. Soul
did
was
nothing wrong. I'll die on that hill.
Correct, but he wasn't seen as that. He wasn't supposed to be seen that way.
He's like the Dark Knight.
He was supposed to be seen as he got what he deserved at the end, I think.
I hate
That's
that.
what I felt like they were trying to tell me. I was like, I don't think he did, but there it is.
There was like a
watch.
weird tone shift when
didn't
he
like it.
died.
Yeah. It was he's like getting choked out, and I'm like, this is so weird.
It was like sad, but then the
I did
next
fall asleep
scene,
during
I feel like they're like, you're supposed to feel sad, but then the next scene, when they're like reuniting the sisters and whatnot, it was like happy music. Like, am I supposed to feel happy he's dead? 'Cause I feel awful, and I feel like you guys are the bad guys now. Yeah,
I just felt bad at the end, and I just didn't.
it felt weird
I
and
didn't like
gross,
it.
and it just ended on a weird note of
It made me
being
feel
like
dirty in a way.
the one character you cared about
The
is
one guy
dead
who was trying to do the good thing.
by the hand of the people you think I'm supposed to care about.
Yeah, I mean, they made the wrong choice in covering it up. They should have went to the Jedi Council first. That was weird that they didn't do that, just because they didn't have the proof. But what did that have to do with anything?
There was definitely foreshadowing.
They had the blood that told them, "Hey, look at these midichlorians. It's the same thing." Like,
there was
if she's dead,
foreshadowing
here it
for the
is.
prequels where they're like,
I know they're
we
trying
need to
set
check
up.
out the Jedi and see what they're really up to.
Oh yeah, that random senator that showed up and was just like, I don't like these Jedi because one day one's gonna get out of hand, and he was like, you guys are bad because you don't allow your emotions. Well, that's not true, for one, but we're good. We're bad because we have our emotions in check and we're like have self-control and don't go crazy and allow like our hate and anger to control us. Like, why is that bad?
I thought
Wait a
it was
minute.
really funny that like,
That's why it went bad, because Anakin allowed his hate and his fear to control his actions rather than being like, hold on, wait a minute, something ain't right, or whatever. I don't know why I got that, but see what I'm saying? Like, why is this the bad? You're repressing your emotions, and that's not what's happening with the Jedi.
No,
the Jedi are self-controlled. They're not
Yes.
repressing. I mean, maybe some are, but whatever. I don't know. And then Soul's like, I love you because I didn't tell you because I love you. And that was weird. That was a little odd.
That's weird.
I mean, he still was not wrong, and he shouldn't have died that way.
I still think
that was
the real
stupid.
hero of the story.
So yeah, he was the only one who was trying to do the right thing the whole time, I feel like.
Yes.
I mean, maybe his motivations weren't always right, or at least the reasons. But the main reason was, I just want to do the right thing. Yeah, these kids are like,
he was said, I need to protect these kids. Something is not right here. There's some weird witches, and there's two kids that are in danger. I feel like,
and you might be like,
do something about this.
Well, okay, so the only reason he showed up because he's like, hey, what's going on? This seems.
Hey, what's going on?
May talks about this weird thing that's happening, and it's like, this sounds like a weird sacrifice. Maybe we should check into this. He only killed the mom because she turned into a monster and was trying to protect May. You could say he had to let May fall because he couldn't hold them both up and he had to pick. Okay, well, you might go with the one who actually wants to be with you. Sure, fine. I mean, he could have just lifted them. You can get into that. Whatever. But like everything else, he might have regrets, but I don't think he didn't outright choose evil or selfishness. I don't know.
An acolyte kills the dream.
This acolyte killed my dream. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I mean,
I can just wrap it up by saying it was just like it's a missed opportunity for something that could have been like really, really good, and instead it's just mediocre.
Yeah.
Mediocre. That's my property.
It's not even that. It's bad writing, and everything else is mediocre. Well, the action's good.
Action's A+. Writing is mediocre.
It's not even that. I think it's bad writing. It's just confusing writing.
It's bad.
There was nobody to go through and be like, what? Why did this get passed?
Well, usually with a mystery, you're supposed to like reveal the mystery and not just like make things confusing and be like, that's the mystery. We don't know. It's like, well, we don't know.
There's no mystery. The mystery was,
it's like a mystery
how
murder,
did this happen?
But you know who the killer is in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, and then the other mystery, which is the flashback as to what happened.
Yeah.
really wasn't
But also
reveal at all.
It's like a double mystery where we just don't reveal it.
I don't know, dude. It's I don't know how I'm gonna make a video about this. Maybe I'll have to split it up. But
Maybe not.
I want to because I feel like that'd be whatever. I think it's interesting, but I was kind of going into this being like, I'm gonna laugh at this and bash it, but I'm kind of just like in this the whole time. I'm just like sad,
Frustrated,
and depressed, and like crushed. Couldn't have been better. But I don't go into these hating. Like I said, I watched the first 2 episodes, and people were like, it sucks, and I was like, it's fine.
Man,
but that's the problem. I mean, it's just dumb.
I'm just gonna be honest though. I
didn't
thought
like it.
episode 5 was really good.
Because it's all action.
I know, and that's where the problem is.
There's no.
I feel like the whole show could have been just so. This action with good writing. This could have been like Andor level stuff, man.
That's the key.
We'll never get that until season 2 of Andor.
Yeah. Do you think this is gonna get season 2?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Probably.
I
feel
like they will just out of spite.
I feel bad for all these actors, man. Like, it's not their fault.
No, I'm not saying it's every actor's fault.
Like, freaking
sometimes you're just
Manny, who plays the stranger, he deserved better. He deserved a better show. Same with, what's his name? Soul.
Lee Jung-jae?
Yeah.
Is his name Lee?
He deserves a better movie or show.
Well, they all deserved a better show. I mean, we deserved a better show. Whatever. I mean, deserved, whatever.
Writers and Disney let us down. And you know what? They gave us some things, fan service things that we always asked for. Get us better action. We got that at least.
More Jedi?
Maybe
I guess.
Get us a better story. I think people are more clamoring for story more than fan service. I mean, it's just Disney's thing. Disney's all about fan service. They're not really caring about story.
I mean, action's cool, but I think I would rather flip-flop it and say, have a really good story, a compelling story that I'm into, and have, like, mediocre action, and I'd still be okay. I might be like, action could have been better.
Here's my
whatever.
thing, is also have action that has meaning.
What's more important?
Action for no action.
Right. It has to make sense, and again, yeah. I mean, that the last battle, what's the difference? Even this, though, compared to, like, the battle in, Revenge of the Sith or something like that, just felt like it had so much more weight, and maybe it was just the emotional.
That's what it is. You add emotions, you have characters you care about. I mean, then the action's more tense, and
that battle just goes so freaking hard, dude.
Has no right being that good.
Also, maybe it has more
big
realism to it.
Climbing up that thing and
the weird
lava,
dropping and falls,
and starts swinging, and
they're swinging on the cables.
Gosh.
Still fighting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Darth Sidious, he's all like, I'm gonna kill you, Yoda. And then he's like,
well, that battle's not
no,
the best,
you're not.
It's fine. Yeah.
And then he like hits him off. And he's like starts throwing He starts throwing those things at him. He's like,
those Senate chairs.
Take that, Yoda. And he's like, nah,
I won't take it.
I'm not taking it.
You
no
take
more.
This spinning.
I'm gonna jump down a hole and into like a speeder and zoom off and go into hiding for the rest of my life.
Well, yeah.
And
actually, yeah.
And just die one day.
There. Rest, I must.
And then Palpatine's like, yeah, no, I'm the winner, Yoda.
I'm actually the winner, even though I won, even though we didn't find his body.
Like, and then like Anakin and Obi-Wan fight Count Dooku, and they're like, nah.
Wait a minute, this is all good. I'll jump now.
And then he throws Obi-Wan. He's like, not today, and he gets crushed in the legs.
In the legs.
He gets crushed in the legs.
He gets dragged around unconscious.
Yeah, and then
leave him or we'll never make it.
He chops off both of his arms, so he can't clap for how good of a job he did. So he's got to chop his head off now. And then Palpatine's like, nice. That's pretty cool that you just did that right in front of me. Don't tell Obi-Wan when he wakes up. Don't tell Obi-Wan. It's like, don't tell my mom.
Please don't tell my mom.
Don't tell Obi-Wan once he wakes up. And then they go into like an elevator shaft, and then they crash on a planet. Do you want the rest of the plot in the movie?
You might as well just keep going at this point, you know?
Okay. So
I just think of that scene where all those witches just die. Don't know what. That was the funniest thing in this whole
I agree.
This whole show.
Anything that happened.
I was like, what?
Like they kind of ruined that. They could have made the witches like
And they
creepy.
Did they die?
They could have made it more creepy,
kinda
or like
No, that'd be too
more-
evil. That's what I'm saying.
they just seemed
Don't
like
get it.
cringy. It was just super cringy. They're
Didn't
like,
explain it. Was it?
all right, let's the power of many. Let's get in this Wookiee's head. Oh, we're out.
See it.
See ya.
Very powerful. Many were very powerful. I don't know.
And the Wookiee was like, yeah, that's right.
I'm still alive.
I'm still
but I'm
alive.
also
And you guys are
scarred.
You guys
now.
are actually dead now. And I'm gonna die later.
Did she kill them? Like, what was that? What was it? I don't know.
Wait,
Who? How did this happen?
who killed the Wookiee?
It was the Khmer. He was sliced, but it was just happened before she got there because it was still smoking, man. His stir fry was still on the
That's
the pot
racist.
boiling. I know. Wait, what?
Is it because he's Asian?
No, it's because he's a Wookiee.
joking.
Because he was making a stew, like a veggie stew.
Yeah,
Remember that?
that's sad.
They showed him real quick, and then
he
just
deserved
dead.
that.
I was like, okay, lame.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
You said he's smoking. I was thought he's like
Not that
smoking.
smoking. Well, it could have been. Well, maybe that's what it was. It was
He
just
was
it was just a
smoking.
big pot of weed, is what that was.
Yeah.
Here's the last thing. Was that the first time someone was force choked? Was that what that's supposed to be? Was that the big thing? You gotta kill a Jedi without using a weapon. By squeezing their throat, I guess. Nobody had
Nice.
ever thought of, hey, I can push, I can pull, maybe I can
I thought
close
that-
off an airway.
I thought it was gonna go a different way, where I thought like
It was
she was gonna
weird.
let him go and then like go
Stab him
after
or
somebody
something.
else or something.
Maybe I don't know. Dude,
I thought she was gonna be like,
And
well,
he's
you
just
were
like,
actually trying
"Yeah,
to
kill
protect
me,
me in
it's
the end,
fine."
so it's fine.
I mean, maybe still stop her, but like
And
still,
she's like-
I don't know.
She's like, yeah,
Why
right.
did he let her
That's
just
right,
kill
you're
him?
dead. No,
Because
I'm
he
not.
was wrong. He deserved it. That's what it was.
And then she was.
That's
she
why
choked-
he knew it too.
She choked him, and then she was like, yeah, that's right, you're dead. And no, I'm not.
Now I'm glad, because I'm glad. Even though this very last, she didn't. There was no question to be like, well, you know.
And then that green lady
I
showed
don't
up, and she's
know.
like, Soul, you're a good guy, and I'm gonna burn your body.
May knew the whole time, but she's just like, yeah, I'm good with leaving him alive. But Osha, who actually like
Cared for him?
cared for him, was just like, oh no, I'll kill him.
I'll kill him. It's fine.
I'll do it. I'll take care of it for you.
She's like, nah,
Now I'm
let me do it.
Now I'm.
Watch
maybe,
this.
Maybe the Acolyte, maybe the real Acolyte
This is the friends we made along the way.
It was.
That's good.
It kind of works out.
You know what? It does. Except all of your friends are dead, and now
Yeah,
you just
well,
have
yeah.
one new friend.
Well, your
and
new
your
f-
sister doesn't even know you
Yeah.
exist.
But your new friend's the one who killed all your old friends.
Oh, that's hot. He is hot
yeah.
too.
In Yord, though, with his shirt off, why he was steaming his shirt in that room.
That's pretty dumb.
Why was he doing that?
Because he had to be shirtless. He worked hard.
Is
for
this
his
part
abs.
of
He had
that
to
whole rat boyfriend trend? You know what I'm talking about?
get- Oh yes.
Is that had that? Because like these really ratty kind of guys, but they're like super hot.
I want to see someone have a boyfriend.
Oh,
that's just a rat.
Why is your
like
shirt
an
off?
actual
Also, where'd
rat.
your Padawan go? That was here for like 2 seconds.
I want to see someone have a boyfriend that's an actual rat. Just an actual rat, like Ratatouille.
Gross. I'm thinking of like Peter Pettigrew or something from Harry Potter, but like it's
No.
Timothy Spall and
That's
he's like all
awful.
ratty looking still. He's my
gosh.
rat boyfriend. You get that rat.
Gotta get that rat.
The only one who I've seen that's actually good looking is the bear guy. What's his name? From the show The Bear.
Oh, I was like,
Not
bear guy.
Not bear
Whoa.
guy.
Are you furry, Tyler?
Well,
Only real hot person was a bear.
I just like me some big bear like men. That's all I'm saying.
Well, which one? There's
The main guy.
the main guy
his,
starts with a J. It's a J, something Allen.
Yeah,
Something.
Alan White, something. John Allen.
Jeffrey
Allen White.
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Johnny.
I think Jeremy.
I don't know. Jeremy Allen White.
is what I'm going to call it. What do you think?
Have you watched
Over under
the Iron
50%.
Claw?
No, but I've heard it's good.
You should watch that.
I'm.
If you want a good cry.
No, I don't want to watch it then.
It's pretty good though.
Well, I'll wait till I want
He's
to
in there.
try. Yeah, he is. Jeremy Allen White. I'm pretty sure that's it.
I'm gonna say Jeffrey
Jeremy Allen White.
Wallen.
Yeah, there he is.
Kite.
Jeremy Allen White. White.
Nice.
I think he's the best looking rat boyfriend guy.
He looks like Gene Wilder.
He does kind of look like Gene.
Kylie pointed that out to me the other day. I was like,
They should
now I
have
will
got-
never unsee that.
They should have got him for Wonka.
Because
Forget
we
Timothy Chalamet.
were watching Bear season 2, and she's like,
I can see that.
"It looks like Willy Wonka." I was like, "What?" And then now I can't unsee it.
Give him some like blonde, crazy hair.
Yeah.
What's a good sequel we can throw him in as Gene Wilder? Well, Wonka, but
Wonka.
they've kind of already redone that.
Yes.
Or they did the prequel with Timothy Chalamet, which I don't know why they. Is he supposed to be that Wonka, or is he just? Is that just random?
I don't know.
Book Wonka.
I didn't watch
Who
it.
cares? I didn't watch it. No, it's got to be the same because the Wonkas
Blazing
look the same.
Saddles.
Yeah, they couldn't remake that though.
No,
They'd have to
there's
change a
no
lot.
possible
There's
way
no
that-
way that's happening again. It's an anomaly, a beautiful anomaly.
Anyway,
What's something else he's really popular? What's
Gene-
Young Frankenstein?
There you go.
Could do
there you go,
that.
There you go. There you go.
Sequel.
He'd be good for that.
I don't know. Whatever. Oh, well, just do a biopic.
Oh, nice.
Easy.
I know they're doing like a biopic right now with Timmy Chalamet about Bob Dylan.
Yes.
Have you seen the pictures? He looks
I have.
really Bob Dylan-y.
It's not bad. I'm
Bob
ready.
Dylan.
I'm gonna be ready for the Beatles, Bob Dylan, Elvis crossover movie.
It's like the Avengers.
Well, yeah, it's the Avengers of the you know. Oh, well, maybe Joaquin Phoenix as maybe he's too old for
Johnny Cash?
now,
Yeah, a
but
little too old.
we can de-age him. It's fine.
We can do that. Oh, we probably should end. But did you see that de-aging movie with Tom Hanks and Robin
Yeah.
Wright? What is this movie?
It's weird. Oh, who's his dad?
I don't know. It was like the weirdest trailer
Who
I've
plays
ever
his dad?
seen.
It was
Oh,
weird.
like,
I don't know what it's about. It's
It's so weird.
it's Robert Zemeckis too, which I like Robert Zemeckis.
I do
but
too. He's always doing
He's kind of been-
weird, like CGI things.
He's kind of been off on a weird movie. I don't know. Since like, what was the last one he did? Did he do? No, I don't know. Anyway, since like Castaway, he's not made a great movie. Well, that's not true. Maybe that's not true, but they're fine. Let's say that.
All right,
Anyway,
let's
wow.
end this episode of The Acolyte. And
I'm gonna give it a 4.
I'll give it a good. You know what? I'll be generous and give it a 5.
Well,
That means it's
4.5. Then that's our
I think
average.
it's just going to be in the middle of the road. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, it's just all right.
the writing has just knocked it down for me. It's not
Yeah,
good.
I agree.
4 for me.
If there's
Maybe
better
4.5.
writing, this could be up there, dude.
So our rating is 4.5.
Then I must
5 and
give
4.
it a 6.
Shut
So we'll meet in the
The
middle.
door.
And it's,
So
a
now
5,
it's a 5.
and now it's
Screw
my
you.
rating.
We know the real rating already, so
I'm just
can't
going
just
to
change
cheat the system.
aha.
So what you have to do is just go a little bit lower. And then we'll
that's
be
true.
back at 4.5. So you're like a
It's a 3.
3.5.
No, it's just a 3.
There you go. Now it's a 4. No, I'm going to go to a 7.
Well, you're right. 3.5. You're right. Yeah. Gosh, I'll just keep dropping it, man.
It's fine. I'll give it a
We'll never end.
I'll be a 5.
It's just gonna end up being the same.
4.5.
You're being a 4. Okay, 4.5 is fine. I don't know.
A 5.
What?
5.5. So what it means was 5.
I'm saying 4. You say 5. 4.5.
There we go.
4.5.
Alright.
And that's the end.
5.
Well, thanks for listening, or thanks for watching, whatever the case may be, or both.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out
Go
of here.
home. Go watch something that's better. Go listen to something that's better. I don't
Like,
know, whatever.
Andor.
Go learn something.
Yeah, the guy's like begging for his life, and he's like, sorry, I don't care. I'm going to shoot you in the head. And he's like,
Shoot
yeah,
you.
now you're
I
dead.
do that in the movie too.
And the other guy's
I don't
like,
care.
no, please take my money.
I'm
And
morally
he's like,
ambiguous.
You know what? I'm going to shoot you now too. Bam.
Guess what? I'm just a dude for myself.
I'm a dude for myself. That's right.
That sounded
That's
dumber
the
than I thought it
Andor,
was gonna be.
the dude for himself.
He's just a dude for himself.
I want them to
Dudes
start
being
making trailers
bros.
again
Who
where
are
like
dude? With the voiceover.
Yeah, I want
Yeah,
those
they-
again.
Yeah, get rid of the slow.
Are
pop
we gonna
songs.
get back to that?
Oh yeah, probably.
Because
you
it-
went back and watched some of those old like 80s and 90s trailers.
Good.
Well,
I'm
I
saying
wouldn't
like
say that.
we're
but
like we're constantly like we're going on other tangents, but
Do it.
Trailers are constantly changing, where it started
but
off
also staying exactly the same.
staying the exact same. So what point do we change so much that we end up, eating our own tail and circling
Reversing.
back to
Don't know,
announcing
man.
things.
Don't know. We're only like 100 years into this movie thing.
Yeah.
It already feels like we peaked.
I think AI is going to ruin it all. I do.
Well, you mean movies or everything?
Just the entertainment industry
The world.
and art.
Oh,
I
they're gonna
think
take
that
over
they're
and
gonna
kill us.
just be, and that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Terminator gets down. He's like, "Bam, you're dead," and I'm not.
Laser gun.
I'm gonna kill
Well,
you
you will
with this
be,
laser
'cause-
gun.
Yeah, you know.
How's it
Anyway.
feel?
Yeah.
I'm just a robot out for myself.
Just a robot
For myself.
for my. He points the gun at the guy and he's like,
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you now.
I'm just gonna kill you now.
He's
I'm
like,
a
"No,
robot
please,
for
I'll
myself.
give you my money." He's like, "No,
I don't care about
I'm
anybody.
morally ambiguous.
Yeah,
so I'm
I'm
gonna
a
kill
gray.
you down."
I'm a morally gray robot.
Yeah. I'm out for myself. All right.
Take that, Cyber. Whatever. I don't even know. Bye.
Bye.
Stop listening. Leave. Get out.
Get out.
Bye. You leave too. Get out of my house.
Leaving.